There are certain greetings that seem small on the surface, but once you start paying attention, you realize they actually say a lot about how someone feels about you. So, in this video, I'm breaking down the different types of greetings that Loki shows into you. And trust me, some of these are subtle but powerful, and you've probably experienced a few without even realizing it. So stay locked in, because number 7 is the one most people miss, but once you see it, you won't unsee it. Let's dive in. Sign number 1, the voice switch greeting. I know you might have noticed it before, but didn't think much of it, right? That moment when she says hi and her voice suddenly changes, like it gets softer, a little higher, or just different from how she talks to everyone else. And that's what I call the voice switch greeting, because it's not something she's doing on purpose. It just happens naturally when she's talking to someone she likes. So instead of her normal tone, you get this warmer, more careful version of her voice, almost like she's trying to sound a little sweeter without even realizing it. And you'll notice it, especially if you've heard her talk to other people, because the difference is clear, right? It's like she's putting a bit more emotion into those few words. And people don't randomly switch up their voice for no reason. So when she does that around you, it usually means you've got her attention in a way others don't. Number 2, the quick fix greeting. You know it that moment when she sees you and instantly fixes herself up, right? Like, she adjusts her hair, straightens her clothes, or quickly checks how she looks before saying hi. And that's what I call the quick fix greeting, because it happens so fast but says a lot. It's like her brain goes, "Wait, he's here." And in that split second, she wants to look her best for you. So she makes those small adjustments without even thinking about it. And it usually comes with a little shift in her posture or energy too. Like she suddenly becomes more aware of herself around you. And in psychology, this is linked to something called impression management, which is basically when someone subconsciously tries to present the best version of themselves in front of someone they care about. So when you see that quick fix happen right before she greets you, it's not random at all. It's a subtle sign that your presence actually matters to her. Third, the priority greeting. You can tell a lot about how someone feels just by who they choose first, right? And that's exactly what the priority greeting is all about. Because when she walks into a room full of people and still makes her way straight to you before anyone else, that's not random. That's intentional. And it shows that out of everyone there, you're the one on her mind. So even if her friends are around or she's in the middle of something, she'll pause just to greet you, give you that moment, that attention. And it's usually quick but meaningful, like a smile, eye contact, maybe even a little touch, and then she can go on with whatever she was doing. But the fact that she chose you first says everything, because people naturally prioritize what matters to. So if you're always getting that first hello, that first look, that first bit of energy, it's a strong sign. You're not just anybody to her. 4, the spin back greeting, gentlemen. This greeting is one of those signs that's hard to fake, right? Because she'll literally be walking past you like she's on her way somewhere, minding her business, and then suddenly she turns back just to say hi, like she almost forgot. But really, she didn't want to miss that moment with you, And it's not even about the greeting itself. It's the fact that she made that extra effort to come back when she could have just kept going. So it shows you were on her mind even when she was already moving away. And usually there's a little smile or some kind of energy behind it that feels different, like she's low-key excited to see you. And people don't just spin back like that for anyone. So when it happens, it's a pretty strong sign she's paying attention to you more than she lets on. Number 5, the eye contact lock-in. This locking isn't just a normal glance. It's when she looks at you and holds it just a little longer than she needs to. Like even after the greeting is done, her eyes are still on you. And there's usually a softness to it. Maybe a slight smile or a calm energy that feels different from how she looks at other people. So it's not intense in a weird way. It's more like she's fully present with you in that moment. And that kind of eye contact doesn't happen by accident, because most people naturally look away quickly, right? But when someone is interested, they tend to hold that gaze a bit longer without even realizing it. And it creates this quiet connection that's hard to explain, but easy to feel. So, if she's locking eyes with you like that when she greets you, it's a strong sign you've got her full attention and she's genuinely interested in you. 6. The over-exited. Hey, you know that moment when she sees you and suddenly her whole energy just jumps, right? Like she goes from normal to instantly bright and loud with a hey that has way more emotion than a regular greeting. And that's what I call the overly excited. Hey, because it's not just a hello, it's a reaction. You know, like she's genuinely happy or surprised to see you. And it comes out in her voice before she even thinks about it. So the tone is higher, longer, and more expressive than usual. And sometimes she even laughs a little right after or smiles while saying it. And what makes it stand out is the contrast, right? Because you can usually tell she doesn't greet everyone like that. She saves that kind of energy for someone who actually makes her feel something. So when you get that overly excited, hey, it's not just politeness. It's a small but clear sign that seeing you actually changes her mood in a good way. 7. The touchy flick greeting. Gentlemen, this greeting definitely screams I like you and is one of those signs you don't really notice at first, but once you do, it sticks. You know, because it's when she greets you and adds those small playful touches at the same time, like a light flick on your arm, a quick tap on your shoulder, or even a little push that doesn't mean anything aggressive, but feels more like playful energy. And it usually comes with a smile or a laugh. So the whole moment feels casual but charged at the same time. And what makes it interesting is that she doesn't do it with just anybody. So it becomes this subtle way of showing comfort and familiarity with you, right? Because touch is actually a big thing in human interaction and in psychology. This connects to something called affiliative touch behavior, which is basically when people use light, friendly physical contact to build connection, trust, or closeness without saying it directly. So when she's doing that flick, that tap, that playful contact during a greeting, it's often her way of breaking personal space just enough to show she feels relaxed around you and enjoys your presence. And over time, you start to notice it becomes a pattern. So it's not just random energy, it's a consistent signal that she's comfortable and engaged when she sees you. Number 8, the double text greeting. Yeah, you know that moment when she greets you. And it doesn't just stop at one message, right? She says, hey, hey, and then a few seconds later, she sends another text like, what are you doing? Or, you there? And that's what I called a double text greeting because it shows she didn't just want to say hi and leave it there. You know, she actually wanted a response, some kind of interaction. So she keeps the conversation alive by adding that second message without waiting too long. And what makes it interesting is the urgency in it, right? Like she doesn't want the moment to fade or feel ignored, so she doubles back to get your attention again. And in psychology, this is linked to something called anticipatory engagement, which is basically when someone is mentally invested in the response before it even comes. So instead of being passive, she's actively pulling the conversation forward. And when you notice that pattern, it usually means you're someone she enjoys talking to enough that one greeting is never really enough for her. So now you know the signs, right? So next time she says, hi, pay attention to the little things, the tone, the energy, the effort, because that's where the truth really is. And if you made it this far, you already know what to do. Stay sharp and I'll catch you.